Okay, so it's Sunday, November 24th. We already had the flywheel on the truck. The rear main seal is in. We resealed that rear plate that went on the back of it. Didn't film none of that. Had some camera issues. But the good news is, and that was 3 weeks ago, the good news is no more leaks. I started it up without the transmission. As you can see, I have these things right here holding it up. Also have this block and jack under the pan. These are bolted tightly to the block. The spacer plate is bolted to the block with spacers to make up for the long bell housing bolts. So everything's bolted up tight and secure and safe to start it without the transmission. And up in here, as you can see, where it was seeping, it is bone dry. I've ran it several times. Now the first time I started it, everything looked pretty good, but I did notice a little bit of a spray of oil. You can still kind of see it right there on the frame. And I was like, oh no, it's still leaking. And of course, there's still dry up top, like everyone recommends you look at. And I did. And so I took the flywheel back off, and one of the bolts that hold the plate on, that bolts to the back of the engine, had a little bit of seepage out of it. So I just took it out, dried it off real good with lacquer thinner, and put some Permatex on the threads, the RTV gray, and put it back in, let it sit up for a day, and start it again, and everything's good. We do have one valve cover leak. Looks like it's a little wet. See if you can see that right at the corner, right there where my light's shining. So, but that's no big deal. We can fix that later. Everything else is nice and dry, and I'm so glad I didn't have to drop the whole pan. Maybe one day I'll regret not doing it, because you know this thing has been together since '94, as far as I know. But everything, as you can see, is together. The turbo's on it. Got your new pipes on there. It was so much easier to get all them pipes on there and the turbo on with the transmission out. Honestly, for the what little, it's not that much trouble to get the transmission out of this. And for me, I guess unless you're working on one outside, I don't know, it's kind of worth it to take the transmission out if you're going to do that job with the new up pipes or on the turbo and stuff, manifolds and such. But now the oil filter is, when you run the big one like I do, I have the FL 1995. It's hard to get to, so I ordered this right here. I'm going to put the camera on a stand. Okay, so this oil filter I bought, it's made by Gear Wrench. It costs $24.42, I think was the exact price. I found it on eBay, and it works pretty nice. See, the filter I run on this truck is I think it's 4 inches in diameter. My regular strap wrench is too small. I do have another one with a chain on it, but it's just too awkward to get up in there. I guess I've done it before because I've done oil changes on this truck a long time ago, of course. But this thing is just so awkward to get on there and off. But this thing here just makes it so easy. I got this camera screwed down on a little webcam type stand, and I'm going to show you how much easier it is to get this thing on here. The wrench makes it so much more simple to get these long filters off of these 7.3s, because there's kind of an angle here. I don't know if you can see behind this wood block here, but it almost touches the oil pan. I mean, you can't even get it doesn't touch, but you can't even get your fingers in between it. So it makes it very hard to get your wrench lined up. But with this right here, it just goes right up in there, and you hold on to your extension. I have it loosening right now, and you kind of hold your extension steady. I think I got it all backwards right now. And if you loosen it, you flip it one way, and then if you tighten it, you flip it the other way. There we go. Now, and you just do that, hold it still, and tightens it up, or loosens it, and it just comes right off like that. And that is worth 24 bucks right there to me. So, Gear Wrench, oil filter wrench, I highly recommend one. And no, they did not tell me to advertise it. I wish they would, but no, they didn't. So, we're going to attempt to do a cold start. Haven't started in a couple weeks, and it might be interesting to you without transmission. But before anyone criticizes, this setup is safe. Engine's not going nowhere. Now, of course, this truck has a neutral safety switch, or it's actually in this one, it's not the wired to the transmission, it's wired to the clutch. Engine will not turn over unless you push the clutch. But there is a way around it. See if I got my key. No, I don't. I gotta get my key. Okay, so how am I gonna start this truck with no transmission, with the clutch switch still, clutch safety switch still hooked up? I'm gonna put my key in. Want to make sure my wait start light goes off. It heats up the glow plugs. We don't have to worry about rolling forward because there's of course no transmission in it. And we go over here and we have the solenoid jumped with a switch. You can see that. And there you go. Good cold start. Haven't started in 3 weeks. Been cold too. Degrees, not bad. But we're gonna let that warm up. Hasn't started in a while. One thing I noticed, of course, you see a little blue smoke, but it hasn't been started in 3 weeks. It was cold, a little normal for a diesel. But I'm noticing a lot less smoke coming out of this thing after we rebuilt that turbo again. I'm pretty sure we're not getting any oil coming through the exhaust side now. It just seems to start better. Sounds different. If you remember before, there was a turbo whistle, and I thought it was because of the upgrade on the impeller. But I got the reading, if you have oil blow by, oil passing through your turbo, getting on the exhaust side, it will make them whistle. Well, I supposedly have a better impeller than before, and there is no whistle now. So, that's also a sign that we fixed something here. Open this door. So we're going to let this warm up. One more time, make sure there's no leaks. I think I'm going to start by getting all the gaskets and seals on this transmission. Okay, so it's been running for about a half hour. No leaks. Still, as you can see, found my flashlight here, wherever I put it. There. Still bone dry under there. I'm loving it. Which means we can finally go back together with this and start body work. But I'm glad I went ahead and did that before I went any farther with anything else. But everything went together good with the exhaust kit and the turbo kit, which you saw me put the turbo together in that one video. I had one exhaust leak, and all I had to do was just tighten up the bolts a little more. I had a exhaust leak right here at this flange, and all I had to do is, after it was warmed up, was tighten them bolts down. I started back up, and that got rid of that. And I'd felt around while I was running around all the connections, and no exhaust leak. I think everything is good and tight on it. So it's all new pipes, new flanges, new turbo housing, the CHRA housing they call it, or what? I probably got that wrong. I think it's CHRA. But anyway, so like I said, I went ahead and bought a solid flywheel. Here's the stock flywheel, and actually mine's still in great shape, but it's got springs in it, and it's got a centrifugal thing in here. I don't know exactly how all that works, but this is part of it. And then this is the engine side right here. And the actual flywheel that the clutch meets up to goes there. If everything works out good with my new flywheel kit, I may just sell this on eBay because it's all in great shape. And the clutch is over there, still in good shape. So we'll keep all that together and set it aside in case we need it. But here's a new kit. It is I think it's called a center grip kit. I'd have to look it up. Matter of fact, just in case someone asks that info, I will find all that info on it. Okay, I couldn't find the paperwork in the box, so here's the exact same thing I bought right here. It is a FX Stage 3 clutch kit and flywheel. It comes with a solid flywheel, which I'm going to show you. And everything you see here, new throwout bearing, flywheel bolts. They're actually shorter than the stock ones too because of the one-piece flywheel. And you get that disc that I showed you and a clutch aligning tool. And it was $368.64 with, I think, yeah, free shipping. Not a bad deal, I didn't think, if it holds up good, which I bet it will. And as shown in the ad, here it all is. Here is your throwout bearing you get with it. Clutch aligning tool. New pilot bushing or bearing. So got a needle bearing in it. The original one does too. Pressure plate, disc, flywheels on the truck, and the bolts are of course in there too. So I guess the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and get this transmission sealed up. Like I said, all I need to seal up is this and this. I'm pretty sure everything else was dry.